Good evening, everybody. Today we're going to do like crazy facts and like useless knowledge. Some of it's kind of funny, some of it's like crazy, and some of it I like didn't even know. It's going to be kind of cool, but kind of crazy. It's mostly useless facts, if we're going to be honest, but it'll be interesting. I'm just going to wait for a few people to join and then we'll start. Hopefully we'll get a few people in here because I think some of them are cool and some of them are interesting and some of them are just totally useless facts. Yeah, like that. Right. It'll be interesting though. Some of it's cool. I'm just going to wait and see if we get a couple more people in here. Did you have a good Thanksgiving? You had to have at least had turkey. Yeah, we had a good Thanksgiving. Us and the kids and Thing One's girlfriend. It was nice. Okay, so we're just going to do like useless knowledge stuff. A banquet turkey dinner. I mean, that's better than nothing, I guess. So, number one is that your brain cannot feel pain. So, your brain lacks any kind of pain receptors. I did not know this, but I thought that was pretty cool. I tried to like validate and come up with like reasons why these were true, along with the fact that they were like a fact. I wanted to validate them. I wanted to make sure they were real. Honey never expires because it has a natural composition of high sugar and low moisture, which makes it impossible for bacteria and microorganisms to grow. I knew that turkey never spoiled, but I didn't know why, so I found the answer. It'll just turn to sugar, like over time. Like it doesn't stay the consistency. Interesting. Water can boil and freeze at the same time. It's a specific temperature and pressure known as a triple point, but I think you have to like reach all of the requirements for it to boil and freeze at the same time. Interesting. I didn't know that. Octopuses have 3 hearts and blue blood. They have 2 hearts that pump blood to the gills and 1 that pumps it to the rest of the body. The blood is blue due to a copper-based protein in their blood. I'm guessing the copper is what makes their blood blue, because isn't ours like rich in iron, which makes ours red? Yeah, I didn't. I found that cool though. And I don't think they're the only animal with blue blood, but I found it interesting that they had 3 hearts. Your DNA can stretch to Pluto and back. Unraveled DNA from approximately 37 trillion cells can total a length of about 74 trillion meters, and that's roughly 17 trips to Pluto and back. I've heard that before too, but I think that's been disproven. I'm not entirely sure. I think it just looks blue because of the veins, but I don't think it's actually, I don't know. Interesting one though. Might have to look that one up. We blink 15 to 20 times per minute. While using screens, we only blink 5 to 7 times per minute, which is what causes eye strain and dryness in your eyes. I'm guessing you don't blink as much because your eyes are moving around more. I don't know, but you don't blink as much when you're staring at a screen. Dogs can smell cancer. They have a superior sense of smell, which detects organic compounds that are found in certain cancers. I don't know if that means that they can detect every kind of cancer, but they can detect certain ones for sure. And I think there's studies going on where they're trying to take different types of cancer cells and train dogs to find them based off of the smell of certain cancer cells. Which could be beneficial in early detection. Chewing gum after a meal reduces heartburn. Sugar-free gum for 30 minutes will increase saliva production and neutralize acid in the esophagus. Never tried it, but I definitely will be because I tend to get a ton of heartburn after eating certain things, so I definitely want to try that one. Has anybody ever tried that? Chewing gum after eating to reduce heartburn? When you look at a vein, you're seeing the blood through layers of skin. Your skin absorbs the red light wavelengths more deeply while reflecting and scattering shorter blue ones. So that means our blood is red then, even not having been exposed to oxygen. I don't know. I don't know if it works or not, but I'm definitely going to try it. A single sneeze can travel up to 100 miles an hour, depending on the force, but max speeds can reach 100 miles per hour. 30 to 50 is the average speed. I mean, I knew sneezes were forceful and, they carry a lot of weight behind them. But 30 to 50, I mean, forget the 100. 100 is max speed, but 30 to 50, it comes out pretty quick. Yeah, I try not to, but sometimes you'll go to sneeze and you feel it right there, and then it backs off, and then you look like you're crazy because you've still got the sneeze face, but no sneeze came out. Laughter boosts our immune system. It decreases stress hormones, increases immune cells, and releases endorphins and improves circulation and oxygen intake. So I think it would probably be a good idea to laugh a few times a day, even if it's at nothing. I try to find humor in everything, every single situation, even ones that are so hard to find humor in. I try to find it. Because I feel like when you let things build and get irritated and angry, you stay in this bitter mode, and that doesn't do anybody any good to be bitter all the time. So try to find something humorous about it. or a positive about it, anyways. Music can help reduce pain and anxiety. So there's studies going on right now to help with like pain reduction and what music can do to help with that. So music is a distraction and an emotional engagement. It reduces pain perception. Psychologically, it shifts your mind and lowers your blood pressure and heart rate. Brain-based effects include brain imaging, which shows reduced activity in pain areas, and it triggers the body's endorphins, which is like your natural painkiller anyways. And then there was a whole bunch of information on that, but like it also depends on the frequency. So apparently there's a frequency thing that can help better manage pain, but music in general apparently they believe that can help with pain stuff. They do use some music as therapy, yeah, but they're trying to figure out like what types of music are better for certain, like that's what the MRI imaging is for. It will figure out like certain receptors that go off when certain music is being played to see how much more this type of music might help with pain. It was kind of an interesting study. Every once in a while, I just like to blast music and play around with the kids and do my cleaning and whatever. Because I feel like even if it's not, music just makes things better sometimes. Interesting. There was a day that everybody was gone. I don't even know. It was a couple weeks ago. Everybody was gone. All the kids, Papa B, everybody gone. I'm running around the house with my broom and I'm singing and I'm dancing and I got music blaring. It was great. Your bones are stronger than concrete. Pound for pound, bones are 4 times stronger than concrete. I don't know what pound for pound means, but I'm guessing like all I need to know is that they're stronger than concrete. Which is interesting because like when you think about when people break a bone, like how much force that had to take. I'm not a silent sneezer. I missed that comment. Especially right now, having still trying to get over this. I'm definitely not a silent sneezer. I let that bad boy go. Yeah, so your femur is apparently the strongest one. I'm guessing because it's probably the thickest. Smaller bones probably wouldn't take as much, but I mean, if they're stronger than concrete, it still has to take a pretty significant amount of force. Candles were once eaten during famines. Because they were mostly created out of beeswax and beef fat, they were often stolen during famines as well. So, I mean, I guess it would depend. If I was starving, I'd probably eat one. Not gonna lie. But I don't know about the whole beef fat thing, but the beeswax might be okay. Yeah, I don't know if I could eat like straight beef fat. That kind of made my stomach turn a little bit, so no, I don't think I could. Left-handed people make up approximately 10 to 12% of the global population. And of that, 2% are ambidextrous, but left-handedness is more common in males than females. Which is interesting because most of the left-handed people that I know are all female. There's one left-handed male I know of. But all the left-handed people I know are female. Well, let me see. 1, 2. Yeah, well, I guess it would be 50-50 for me. 2 male, 2 female. Human noses can detect at least 1 trillion different scents. We have millions of nerve cells and thousands of specific odor receptors. Now, I don't know if that means that, like, you smell something once, for instance, let's say vanilla. You smell vanilla once, and then your brain is trained to smell that, and it's like a vanilla receptor. Or if that means that, like, you have different odor perceptors, as in, like, I don't like that smell, I do like that smell, that one's okay, that's horrible. Like, I'm not sure how they break it down into the receptors part, but 1 trillion different scents is pretty interesting. NFL refs also get Super Bowl rings, which I did not know. I knew, like, the players got them, and I thought maybe the coaches did, but I did not know that the NFL refs also got the Super Bowl ring. They get one as, like, gratitude for reffing the game, but they also get it as, like, that's one of the highlights of your careers to ref the Super Bowl. So they get one there too, but I didn't know that. Tomatoes have more genes than humans. Tomatoes have roughly 31,000 to 35,000 genes, whereas humans have 20,000. And I think I remember reading it's something about the different types of tomatoes and the hybrids and things like that, that it causes more. Don't hold me to that. Okay, so I have to, like, put a disclaimer on this. Please don't try this. It's just a fact. Don't. Stomach acid is strong enough to dissolve metal. Because stomach acid consists of hydrochloric acid, it can dissolve metal. However, the metal objects would likely cause damage to your internal organs before it had time to dissolve the metal. I don't want anybody, like, trying this and then me getting in trouble. Because if that was my oldest, he'd be the first one to go, oh, really? Let's see. I don't know that I would want to. I mean, I've seen, like, one of the reasons why I don't like him using wire brushes on the grill is because people have been in the hospital from getting the little wire pieces in their burgers, and it puts a hole in their throat or their esophagus or whatever, and I don't like the wire brush because it gets stuck on there and you don't even know that it's there. Elvis Presley was naturally born with light hair. He wanted to look like other celebrities, so at first he used shoe polish and then hair dye to get his, like, famous dark hair color, but he actually had a light hair color when he was born and in his younger days. It listed a couple of celebrities that he was, like, looking up to get his look, but I don't remember who they were. Dr. Seuss wrote Green Eggs and Ham on a bet. The editor bet him he couldn't write a book in 50 words or less, and Green Eggs and Ham has exactly 50 words. Could you imagine like writing a book on a bet, and then not only do you do what was asked of you, but you do it in the exact number of words? That's kind of crazy. Mr. Potato Head was the first toy advertised on TV on April 30th, 1952, and it was also the first commercial to be aired and aimed at kids rather than adults. I had a Mr. Potato Head growing up. The kids had a Mr. Potato Head. Did you all have one? Yeah. I think they still have theirs. I mean, it wasn't like, it was definitely much more, it was different, more different than the one I had growing up, which I'm sure was different than, I didn't think they were older. I didn't think they were 1952 old, but I knew they were older. Toilet paper in France is traditionally pink. You can still purchase white toilet paper in France, but like most houses have pink toilet paper. Fish actually cough. They force or cough irritants from their gills. So they don't like cough out of the mouth, they cough out of their gills, but still interesting. I didn't think they could do that. Right? There's a river in West Virginia called Big Ugly Creek. It was named because the early person who settled there said it was unpleasing to the eye. So he just named the creek Big Ugly Creek. Which I find kind of interesting because nothing is that simple, but apparently this was. The color red makes bulls angry is a false statement. Apparently, bulls are actually colorblind to red and are mostly agitated by the movement of the cape. Which, I mean, like my whole life I've believed that bulls hate the color red, but I guess it's kind of hard for them to do that when they're colorblind to it. Humans are actually only born with two fears: the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Every other fear is learned. I get the fear of falling because, like, if you're holding a baby and you jerk or move, they flail their arms. But I didn't know about the fear of loud noises. I'm assuming it's the same sort of concept. If you hear something loud, you should be fearful of it a little bit. But it's interesting that we're only born with two, yet we have a fear of just about everything. Fear of snakes, fear of needles. Um, I'm not getting on an airplane. I have a fear of, crashes and accidents. So I think everything is probably, I definitely think I agree it's learned. Because if it wasn't out there that, planes crash, then I probably wouldn't be terrified to get on one. Yeah, no. This one I found really interesting and kind of actually cool. All new FBI agents and intelligence agents are required to visit the Holocaust Museum. It's mandatory because it's a lesson to what happens when law enforcement loses its values. They also visit the MLK Jr. Memorial to get a perspective on civil equality, which I find that really interesting, and I think it's very cool that they do that. Apparently, no, that's not what I meant to say. Approximately 1 in 2 to 3,000 babies are born with teeth. It's most commonly the lower ones, and those are typically loose when the baby comes out. Out of all of the kids in our family, there's only one that I have seen be born with teeth. And that was one of my sister's kids. And I'm pretty sure they pulled them. I'd have to ask her, but I'm pretty sure those teeth got pulled. There's a reason why people feel hangry. It's harder to control your emotions when your brain is low on glucose. So from now on, I don't want to hear anybody say anything when I get hangry. It's not my fault. Not my fault. Can't get mad at me when I get snippy. People in Sweden who donate blood get a text message every time their blood saves someone, which I think is very cool and something that I think we should do here. And I wish I could donate blood because I think that would be very cool. What? You didn't eat before you got hungry? No, why would I? Typically, you eat because you're hungry. While pets cannot legally inherit money in the U.S., approximately 1 million dogs have pet trusts as part of their owner's will. So they can't actually inherit all the money, but people can put in their will, I want, so and so to have my pet, and here's $20,000 to take care of the pet for the duration of its life or whatever. But because pets are considered property, they can't actually inherit any kind of money. Uncle Phil, or James Avery from Fresh Prince, is also the voice of Shredder in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoons, which I thought was cool because I love Uncle Phil, and I liked the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was a kid. Right? I thought it was cool. Play-Doh was originally invented to remove coal dust from wallpaper. It was created in the 1930s and rebranded as a toy around 1955. I'm guessing people used coal to heat their homes. Some used wood to heat their homes, but those who used coal could use the Play-Doh to remove it off their walls, the dust, which I thought was pretty cool because I think like I've seen a lot of people use slime today to like get dust particles or whatever out of their vehicles. So it's kind of the same concept, I would think. So Dr. Ruth, and for those of you who don't know who Dr. Ruth is, you can go look her up, was also a trained sniper. Apparently, the country that she's from requires military, like so many years in the military, regardless. And during her time in the military, she was trained as a sniper. And she's a very tiny little thing. But I thought it was kind of cool. Ketchup was once sold as medicine. There was a doctor who believed that tomatoes had powerful health benefits and promoted ketchup for various ailments, including indigestion and jaundice. I'm going to guess that ketchup was a little different then than it is now. And there probably weren't as much additives in ketchup then as there is now. Just a guess. I don't know. But she was an expert in her field. But I think it's pretty, I mean, I'm trying to keep my stream like super family friendly, but that is badass. A very tiny little girl being a sniper, that, I mean, that's pretty cool. John Quincy Adams had a pet alligator that lived in one of the White House bathrooms. Apparently, I think, don't hold me to this, but I think the alligator was given to him as a gift, and he really didn't know what to do with it, so he just kept it in the bathroom. I'm going back off of recall on some of these. Dead skin cells are the main factor of dust. Humans shed roughly 200 million skin cells per hour. Like, I knew that dust was like dead skin cells and, you know, maybe hairs and things like that. I did not realize that we shed that many skin cells in an hour, let alone a day. That is a lot. That's a lot. That is a lot of dead skin cells. And then, of course, if you have like pets, you're going to have pet dander and pet hair and things like that. But I didn't realize we shed that much. Bananas are radioactive. They're rich in potassium. However, humans are 280 times more radioactive than a banana. The amount of radiation in a banana is like super slim, and it's just because of the potassium. It's not a lot. But I found it interesting that we're 280 times more radioactive. Oh, I'm definitely going to complain because that one sheds like crazy. The big one, he sheds a lot. He does shed. Babies are not born with kneecaps. I know that there's like some people who believe it and some people that don't. It's actually cartilage that hardens into bone fully by 2 to 6 years old. Not having kneecaps helps the birthing process and aids in crawling and walking. For a long time, I would hear people say babies are born without kneecaps, babies are born with kneecaps, and people were on different sides of the fence. The truth is that we are not born with kneecaps. Apparently, we shed a lot of skin, but that dog can shed a whole dog a day. Kotex was originally developed as a bandage during World War I. Right, right. I mean, think about having your kneecaps now and then crawling on a carpeted floor. Yeah, it's going to hurt. So, yeah. God has incredible design, I'll put it that way. We are definitely designed with intent. Abraham Lincoln's dog, Fido, was also assassinated. So the story that I got was off the internet, of course, because, while Abraham Lincoln was in D.C. being president, he left his dog with people that he trusted. And the person the dog was with accidentally fired a weapon and unintentionally shot the dog. So high heels were originally invented for men. They helped keep feet in horse stirrups and also symbolized a wealth status and masculinity. I get the horse stirrup thing. I think that probably makes sense. But, now when you think of high heels, it's femininity, and it doesn't matter if you're wealthy or not. Everybody has at least some sort of heel on some sort of shoe. Females. Well, even some of the tennis shoes nowadays, they're starting to get like a thicker heel that, I don't know. I just put my slides on. So there's one more fact that I have, and then we'll probably wrap it up a little bit here. Oh, no. My slides are very thin, so it doesn't add any height. Are you talking about mine, or are you talking about the high heels? For some women, they may use it to add height, yeah. Yeah, high heels do add a little height. I would think. I don't know, because I can't wear them. I don't like shoes that make my feet hurt. So the last fact I have is, in the movie The Godfather, the word mafia and Cosa Nostra were not allowed to be used per the mafia. So I guess they requested and or demanded, no, I don't like pain, that those words cannot be used in the movie, and I don't believe they are at all used in the movie. But I found that interesting. No, I'm not a big person for pain. I don't like it. But I don't really know anybody that does like pain. I think some people have different pain tolerances. Like, my sister and I are very different. I don't have tattoos, she does. I have one piercing, she has multiple. Her pain tolerance is much higher than mine. Yeah, I don't know that I have a high pain tolerance. Because I don't like pain, so I avoid it, so I don't know. I did have my wisdom teeth out and only took Tylenol. They gave me other stuff, but I just took Tylenol. So what did you think was the coolest fact tonight? I like the dogs can smell cancer one. And I like that you took the other stuff for what? I like the one about the FBI agents and the CIA agents visiting the Holocaust Museum. Your wisdom teeth, you took pain medicine? Like the legit stuff? The only one that really bothered me was this one down here. And when I say bothered me, I mean it felt like pressure. It wasn't like pain, it was just kind of pressure. I don't like the pain meds because they make me very sick at my stomach, and it kind of goes back to a whole thing of not feeling like I'm in control of myself. So I try not to. I take Tylenol. I'm not getting a tattoo. No tattoos for me. Although if I did get one, it would have been each one of the boys' names, like right here with their birth dates. But I also have a fear of needles, like severe fear of needles. That's why I don't want those. Like, I would have loved to have gotten my eyebrow pierced, but it's a needle, and I don't do needles. So Wednesday we're gonna do overrated and underrated, because that's the game that Pookie wants to play. I think like I'm just gonna come up with a list of things, and then we can just like individually, people can say whether they think it's overrated or underrated. So for instance, Burger King. Some people really love it. Some people really don't. Some people think it has too much hype. So we'll play that game on Wednesday with the kids. It'll be interesting to see some of their answers. But it's not going to be just food. It'll be like random things, maybe like brands or foods, or overrated, not overpriced. Oh, sorry. Burger King's overpriced. A lot of fast food places are going up, and I mean, I remember when the kids were little, we could go to a fast food restaurant and it would be maybe, I don't know, close to $30. Now you can't go do that for less than 50 or 60. And that's just 4 of us. the cost of a lot of things have gone up. And it's not just fast food, but it seems fast food is going up a lot over the last 10 or 15 years. Which I know, like, to some aspect of things increase in price over years. I get that. But it seems as if things have kind of gotten a lot more expensive. So those going out to eat things are few and far between. Thing too likes it when I make homemade, like, Chick-fil-A sandwiches. So I'll make those sometimes. Like tonight I made steak subs for dinner. He's the only one that really gives me stuff to do for dinner, which makes it so much easier than trying to figure out what to make. And then once you figure it out, then you got to go do it. He's like, here's what I want. Cool. Great. Thanks. Cool. Every once in a while, I'll get something out of other people, but he's pretty good about it. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap this stream up. That's the worst part, is trying to come up with things. It's not even the cooking. I don't mind the cooking. It's trying to come up with what to cook. And then when you think, oh, okay, that'll be easy and that'll be good, then this one doesn't eat it and that one doesn't like it. And it's a whole fiasco. All right, guys. I will see you on Wednesday. Hopefully you guys will come play along with us. Good night.